Today might be my new favorite glitch. I love it because communication is one of the top reasons that businesses can't scale. Where do I get this from? The article will be in the glitch.
Biz glitch number 115. It's April 24th. And sometimes I want to make y'all chuckle out there. You in the back. I see you right there.
Today's glitch is, have you scrutinized your communication style?
Do you point at the camera? And are you a goofball who's definitely in need of a haircut? What's your communication style? Because
please
you're getting it.
We still haven't gone to the office to get the makeup. Okay. We did a podcast about it. 5 mistakes business owners make when scaling. Communication was at the top of the list. So I decided to expound upon this concept of communication because we can really practice. This isn't something where you can't learn or unlearn. You can adjust how you communicate. And I know this because I had to go through it when I owned a business. And I guess I didn't explain things in detail enough. Maybe I thought I did. In my head I did because I knew it. I knew the information. I had assumed that maybe it was implied that this is something that they would know, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I got feedback, and then I had to implement taking a little extra step with a couple extra sentences to what was going on with the case or the file or whatever. And so here I have 5 reasons that communication can fail for a business owner if these things are done. Are you ready?
Number 1.
Inconsistent communication. Not communicating enough with your team or your clients or people who rely on you for information because you are handling something for them.
I find that folks that maybe fall into that category, I think they are either too wrapped up in the I'm too busy, or they're making assumptions about people's reading of their activities and making assumptions that people know.
This is what the second one is. Assuming over asking. That's why potentially they could bleed into one another. If you are not specifically directly asking and assuming, you're just going to make more work for yourself when something comes around that's, wait a minute, what? Mm-hmm. Because you didn't bring it up, you didn't ask, they didn't bring it up because you didn't ask.
Make more work for yourself. And you know what happens when you take time away from yourself? You make less profit.
Be direct.
Wasting time, literally. Throwing money in the garbage.
Be direct. And so this leads into the third one, which is to not communicate with fear and emotion when bad news has to be shared. Again, we've actually lived through this. Don't hide behind email or texts with bad news. Pick up the phone, call them, or if they're in a place where you can go see them somehow. I know IRL is like this.
I feel like I want to jump in on this because obviously I'm old, and in my early career, we didn't have email.
Yeah.
And you couldn't hide behind email.
Yeah.
You couldn't use email as what we could be considering a crutch. You had to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And deliver the bad news.
Yeah.
It had to be done. That was the only way of, you could send a letter through the regular mail, but I worked in the mortgage industry. It was certain issues were time sensitive and you couldn't wait for a letter. You needed to pick up the phone.
It's also respect for, and courage.
It's a human touch, man.
It's courage and it's respect.
But definitely courage.
Next is overloading of information, which is the opposite of some of the things we've just mentioned. Bombarding the team with information that only is paralyzing because they're like, I don't know what to do, because it could cause confusion, which then leads to inaction.
We have a project we're working on right now with clients with the Small Business Administration, and it's actually a very dire situation because it's about collection accounts. And these clients have come to us for assistance to get it fixed. And they come at me wanting to hear everything. Mm-hmm. If I talk for an hour on the phone, they would just keep listening. And I decided early on, I'm going to budget my dispersal of the information as they need it. And we've had more than a few of them who show a certain level of impatience, this, that, and the other. But I know that had I just bombarded them with all this information up front, They're not going to hear all of it. They're not going to remember it. I'm going to give myself a second job to have to explain it again, and on and on.
But here, that's a very good point, because we also do have experience where our process with onboarding a client, once they sign up, then they get a series of emails that all have pertinent instructions. And we split it.
And they're not overwhelming or overloading at all.
But hold on. This is where the feedback from the clients are, well, but there's so many emails. Yes, because if we put it in one long email, we know we would lose you. Make sure you're open to the feedback to hear, do they need to hear all of it in a phone conversation or a meeting? Like in the phone call is like our clients, but do they need it in one long document?
Here's a little tip, a little trick that I implemented during the pandemic when we helped 500 clients get approved for pandemic funding for their businesses. When I sent them an email with information that I needed them to slow down, take a breath, and read the whole email, at the beginning, I said, "Good day, so-and-so," and I introduced the subject line in the email. This email is about blah, blah, blah. And then right below that, in bold, italicized font, please read this email in its entirety.
But see, even with that, if they don't open it, what's the point? And we had that. People pay us money asking us to help them, and then they don't read our emails. Okay, sorry. All right. Next.
Number 5.
We're on number 5.
Number 5
is one-size messaging does not fit all.
Oh, no.
This could be more with client interfacing or marketing for new clients, where you want to at least tailor and customize when it's appropriate. And we have this in our CRM where we have templates, but I don't just send the template. It's there as a baseline in case I need to customize it in some way.
Yeah.
Actionable item is to review these blunders in business and communication.
And make them work for your dang self, man.
And make it work for you so that you have just a more
Our glitches
enjoyable
are designed
time.
to help you have a better quality experience, to not feel overwhelmed. Yes, we're throwing a lot of information at you that can feel overwhelming. Yeah, but it's just like school. You know, when you're in school, you got exams, you got to read the chapter, you got to listen to the class lecture, but then you learn it.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. The information we're giving you may seem overwhelming, but you will find that over time, this series of mistakes that we've made or we've seen other people make will help you to make more money in your business and have more of a life.
Not all the glitches are going to pertain to you, number 1. Number 2, some of the glitches aren't glitches for you. Some of them are, you're like, I got this, nailed it, mastered it. So,
in which case you get to pat yourself on the back and say, bully for me, I did great.
But the third prong is there are glitches you don't want to read. You don't want to deal with them because you know it's hard.
And we all know what glitches those are, don't we? We will see you tomorrow for 116. We're rolling video for BizGlitch 115, April 24th. And action.
You always do the intro.
I know, but I thought I would wait for you to do it today.
What?
It's BizGlitch number 115. It's